This is the science of deliberate creation, and this Abraham Hicks dialogue was recorded at Houston, Texas on Saturday, the 13th day of January of the year 2001.
Since I'm definitely a senior citizen, for the last 5 years I've had diarrhea. And I've flown to a clinic in Tulsa and had every test available, and I've had doctors after doctors, and one doctor even talked to other doctors about advice. I'm doing better, but enough's enough.
Ordinarily, the easiest way to approach something like that is to acknowledge that your physical body is responding to something. Now, of course, everything is about vibration. When you're having an experience and then you observe the experience, and whether you like it or whether you don't like it, in the observing of it, you continue to maintain the vibrational frequency of it, so you continue to have the experience. All of that is the same as everything else that we've been talking about. When you realign your vibration about something, you will have a different experience. There's a tendency, when it has to do with your physical body, to say, oh, yeah, sure, it's about vibration, sure, but what else should I do?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It feels like, since it is my physical body, then there must be something I'm doing of a physical nature. And yet, when you think about it, have you ever had your physical body respond to nerves?
Oh, yes.
Have you ever had a fever blister that comes from stress, or you know of someone who has ulcers that is related to... While it could be related to diet, and there is a piece of that we'll come back to in a moment, we think that for the most part it has just become your annoyed expectation.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you are annoyed by it, and the more you talk about it, and the more you complain about it, which is natural, and the more you resent it, and the more you wish it were different, the more you hold yourself as a vibrational match to the thing that you do not want, and the less you have access to the ideas that would free you from it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what you have to do is begin remembering a time before,
mm-hmm.
and happily anticipating a return to that.
Mm-hmm.
You said earlier that you were certainly a senior citizen.
Yes.
And we say, we are senior citizens. You are just a baby. But we get the idea of what you're talking about. But within that feeling of being a senior citizen, there is a vibration of vulnerability that's sort of rampant upon your planet that is a big part of this expectation. In other words, you began your question relative to this subject with that preface. It's almost like they go together. It was almost as if you were saying, it's natural for things to not be going all that well with me now that I'm at this stage of life. Mm-hmm. And that is the expectation of your planet, but it is not necessary, and it is not necessarily true. And that's the thing that you're wanting to work on. Mm-hmm. We think that there's a part of you that accepts gracefully you're moving through time, and there's a part of you that's irritated as you can be about it. There's a part of you that wants to maintain your youth and vitality and beauty, and there's a part of you that accepts that as you're moving through time, you are experiencing changes. And when you come into alignment, in other words, our friend earlier offered the words acceptance. When you come into this acceptance of the perfection of your evolution, mm-hmm. we think everything within your body will line up. Mm-hmm. It's that resentment, it's that feeling of dread, it's that feeling of tensing against. Mm-hmm. And there's no reason to tense against. Everything is unfolding perfectly. Your body is very resilient. It is not necessary for a human species to decline as you move through time, just as it is not usual for an animal beast friend to decline as they move through time. Very good.
Thank you.
Indeed. What more? Begin right here, yes.